Yo, what's going on, guys? Bot Mentality here, and today I'm going to come at you with a trade review or a trade recap here on the SPY, which is the Spider, S&P 500 ETF. So let me just jump into this here, guys, for you. Oh, and today is October 22nd of 2018. It's about 8 p.m. Usually around 9 or 10 o'clock, I'll go through and just check all my charts, whether it be in cryptocurrency or mainly checking up on the SPY and the tech sector and looking to make my plan for the next trading day. I do that in the evening, and then after I go ahead and do my charting, I actually send out my newsletter, which are just my thoughts and my plan heading into the next trading day. And I send that out to all my Patreon subscribers. And so I'm about to do that right after this video, but I just want to jump into and show you how I traded today, and yeah, hopefully you may be able to learn a little bit from it. So on the 5-day chart, what are we? Let's talk about the SPY. What have we seen? We saw the run up here. To the 281.54, we set that initial high, which was perfect. Prior to that, we had essentially a lot of consolidation. Right in here, we had consolidation between the, let's just say 279 on the SPY and the 270, right? Consolidation, narrowing range, right? We kept seeing lower highs and higher lows here on the bottom of the chart. See that? So we knew a break was going to be imminent, essentially. What we saw here was we actually broke, and it was clear pre-market here on the 16th that we were seeing, green, higher candles accelerating, on bullish volume through pre-market into the open, and we broke the high, which was over the 278. That was the main focus. You could have been focused here on this previous high of 277, which, remember that $277 level on the SPY. That is a resistance level I will be referring to later on in the video. But we broke that. We saw a run up and we set the highs here. Okay, we closed very strong. Pre-market, we started selling off. We opened up, never looked back. We saw a pullback and recovery for that day. So what does that mean? What that means is that, to me, and let me go back actually here to the 20-day 1 minute. I like to look at it like this so you can see all the intraday action. Okay. So here we had this strong run up, and here's the day. We had that strong run up I showed you there on the 16th. Closed pre-market. We saw a heavy pre-market, lower highs, a run up here into the open. Failed to see significant volume in order to break the previous high here, which is around 281.50, right? And then we sold off all day, bounced, reclaimed VWAP on support, and we saw that same resistance go into play here from the 16th. That 281 to 281.50 level was in play. Okay, so what do we know? That's the high of the range that's set. We tried it, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times here to break that 281, and we weren't able to hold any lows over it. So that was on the 17th. So we know that's resistance right as well. Sold off pre-market. Okay, let's scoot over here into today. So this today, not only did we see, or not today, but on the 18th, I'm just kind of walking you guys through so you can see how I built up this the mindset for the trade for today. So on the 18th, which is this day here on the right, we saw a heavy pre-market, opened up. We didn't even get close to the 281. Once we rejected the 280 here, that was the clear over and under level for the bulls, which is what I sent out in that newsletter for this day. We saw the rejection there, pulled back, and just faded, right? So now it's very clear that the high of the range was set there at 280. This was that day I just referred to here on the 18th, okay? So now heading into Friday, we saw a strong pre-market, a run up there towards the 280, which is now the resistance, as that's the previous pivot high below that 281 level, right? We weren't able to reach that and sold off again. So we saw a strong gap down yesterday, or excuse me, not yesterday, Friday evening. If you look, we sold off all Friday, had a close, and then we saw these prints down here at 274.30. And so what that essentially means was when we saw these prints, some people panicked and just marketed out. They wanted to just get out of there, and then we filled a couple prints pre-market when there was, or after hours when there was low liquidity. Got bought back up. So fast forward to today. This is today's price action. What we saw was in pre-market, we saw the decent volume pre-market here. We started seeing higher lows being bought up. This we're right here. This is around the average of what 276.50, which before that's a big deal because we saw these prints down here at the 274.35, right? So we got bought up from that, so that's good. We saw a break of significant support of the previous lows of the day, but they bought that back up. We saw a decent volume here, but what's the resistance, guys? The resistance to watch as we traded the SPY today was what we saw yesterday. So we saw the 277. Remember I said that was going to be a significant resistance level later on in the video. The 277 is a huge level. If I go back to the 20-day here, look at this. If I put my cursor here on the 277, look at how many times we tested. We tested here, 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 Go back to 277 there, okay? And you can see that again on those 3 tests after we pulled below it, this acted as a point of resistance, was a 277. So when we go look here, you'll see that if I put my cursor here on the 277, you can see the line that's drawn. Once we failed that and rejected that, we never came back to that level. So on this opening move, we saw resistance here at the 277. We essentially got stuffed below that on other time frames. And then also we had this previous high of 27763, 278 of course, and then you got the 27930. Above that, there was the 280 and the 281. So what does all that have to do with how I traded today? And I will explain that now. So heading into this, I already had a bearish viewpoint because of the fact that this 281 held very strongly 2 days in a row, and we saw many pivot highs, a significant high here at the 280 and another one here at the 279.30. So my goal, even though we saw this strong buying up of pre-market here, my goal was to sell a call spread above the 279, which essentially, guys, what that means is just, it means I wanted to go short, basically, right? So I wanted to go short as close to that 279 as I could, or on any pops that happened, because I knew that was going to act as resistance. And even if we did get through the 279, it was highly unlikely we would close above the 281.50, right? Which is the resistance here on the 16th and the 17th. So heading into today, what did we see? What we saw was, and I'll pull back here, you saw us open up pre-market. We saw this push up here, the 2775. We failed the 277, which was a main focus. And so after we saw the fail the 277, I'm watching the previous low a day. I want to see how far do we retrace. Do we find support here on the 275, the 276? Where do we go? As the day wound on, we saw flush even more. And once we broke that 275.50, and this happened at about 10 a.m., right? That 10 a.m. flush to 275. I knew this chart was pretty much, I had a pretty good probability that the chart was pretty much going to be done. We weren't going to see any, this wasn't going to be a bull rally kind of day, right? So what I did at this point is I knew it was very highly unlikely, because we didn't rip at the open, that we were going to head back up to that 279.30 level that I wanted to, open up my short position, right? Or selling my, my bear call spread. I knew we weren't going to make it up that high. There was a high percent chance we wouldn't. So I was just looking to get short into the next pop, right? So what we saw here is I was waiting for a bounce. Whenever that came, I set the premium that I wanted to collect there on my options trade for my call spread, and just waited for it to fill. And so we saw a bounce here back up towards VWAP. I'm just moving it through, play by play, so you can kind of see what ended up happening. We tested VWAP. Right about this time is when I wanted to go ahead and start entering. I had an order set for a short essentially in this area, and then one a little bit higher up. The one higher up only got filled, very partial fill, which is very frustrating. I didn't get any size on that second order, but the first order I was able to get full size on it, which I was very excited about. We saw the move and a continued push up. We tried to head back to the highs of the day, right? Or the close to the highs of the day here towards that 277.50 level. We were unable to hit that. We saw a pullback. And so at this point, I'm thinking, okay, VWAP bounced to retest the highs. That's exactly what we did here. We bounced off VWAP, tried to retest the previous pivot high here, the 277.72 or 276.72, and then pulled back. And since then, we just faded and trended around VWAP and weren't able to get any momentum. So essentially, where was my risk? I placed my risk above the previous resistance we had yesterday, which is up. Of course, it was all the pre-market highs, and I was sold above the 279. Okay, on the SPX, my exact call spread was 27.95, 28.05. So if you trade options, you'll know what I mean by that. But that's essentially where I got short. As far as where that looked like on the chart, that was right into this bounce, as I knew we would be pretty heavy the rest of the day. There was a high probability we would be heavy the rest of the day because of the fact that we just gave up. We hit the 274 lows pre-market, right in here. We hit around 274 pre-market. It got bought back up, and then we broke the low of the day again from yesterday. So at that point, I felt comfortable scaling into a short on that on this move, and I was at max profit. As soon as we saw this first flush of VWAP right around here at about 12 o'clock. I will say this retest here at 12 o'clock. I was at max profit there on my trade, and just let that run out for the rest of the day. Made a few $100, ended up being 2% return on investment. And so I was very happy about that. And it looks like here setting up into tomorrow, it's going to be exciting, because what happened? We flushed the 274, okay? We flushed again. So if we see even lower prints towards the 272, 271 potentially, Heading into tomorrow, I might be looking at another call spread up into resistance again. We'll see. So that's what I wanted to kind of demonstrate here for you guys, is what my mindset was heading in, how I kind of gathered information from the past, 7-8 days, past 8 days here, how I used those levels into my trading today, and how that led to a pretty easy trade. And being able to predict the price action. So I just wanted to demonstrate that for you guys. And it's a trade you definitely could have taken. I recommend everyone look into options. It's a way to, leverage your capital and make, a pretty decent amount of money based off of, highly liquid market. And you can have a lot of fun with that. And that was my alert to go check the food I'm cooking here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here, guys. I just wanted to kind of share that with you, show my process here. My entries and exits were alerted on live in my chat room that I did earlier. And we kind of discussed the move and the mood of the market, pre-market, and then kind of made our trades heading into that. So that's really all I have for you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. If you have any questions, leave a comment in the comment section below. And please, hit me up on Twitter, shoot me an email. I reply to every single comment, every single email, and every single tweet or direct message, guys. I will get back with you if you have any more questions that I might go into a little bit more detail there. I have information there on my newsletter where I kind of detail my technical analysis and what I'm looking for into the next day on the SPY, and some cryptocurrencies as well. And that's about it, guys. Yeah, I'm going to bounce, continue to stay focused, and work on developing your bot mentality, which is your trading mentality, and learn to control your emotions so you can trade like a machine, guys. I'm out of here.